Hello, everybody, and welcome along to another episode of PL Seasons to Remember. Yet again, we are joined by Bob. How are we doing, Bob?
I'm good. It's very warm today.
It is so in the sunshine. Today's topics, we're going to have a look at the transfers and see what are the latest rumours that are out and about as we speak, and then just a conversation on the latest coronavirus testing in football. So what we'll do today is we're going to start with the transfers. Not many at the moment to sort of go through, but the one that is sort of, as a Premier League standpoint, is quite big is Odion Ighalo's move.
Yeah.
He's now at Manchester United. Man United were hoping to extend his loan deal. Looks like it's going to be extended until the end of January. Bob, when he first came to Man United, there was a lot of laughs regarding Ighalo going to Man United. How do you think he's gone? Do you think that's quite good for Man United to extend it until January?
Yeah, I think he actually played quite well for him, but he's I don't think he's scored a ton of goals, has he? I think he's scored a few, but I think his overall play is really good for Man United, and they don't need like a superstar striker because they've already got Rashford, aren't they? And I don't know what his fitness levels are at the minute. Is he coming back?
Rashford,
because he was out. He was badly injured, wasn't he?
I think he's a bit like Kane, wasn't he? I think he's out, and then I think by the time we all get round again, I think he'll probably be at least there to be on the bench, maybe.
I mean, I assume the deal's till January because they reckon it's going to be next season's going to be kind of more normal, and by January things are going to be so you'll have a transfer window and so. I mean, I don't know what the situation is right now with transfers. Could you go out and buy someone now, or is it not like that? Is it only you can extend deals for players you've already got?
Yeah, I think it's one of them, innit, where especially with loan deals and probably for people that are out of contract, I think it's to sort of maybe get that sorted out before then we can start going, right, let's start buying players. Probably from a Premier League standpoint. But yeah, I think on my view of Ighalo, I was one of them that thought it was quite funny that Man United were going to sign him. But I think he's actually played all right. I think he's hold up.
Yeah, that's what's good of it. And I think as well, because he loves playing for Man United, he looks like he's playing with a smile on his face. And you want to see players like that, don't you, when you play for your own clubs and stuff. So I think it's a good move for him.
Yeah, he was actually always quite good at Watford. He had a good record at Watford, but people always laugh when these sort of players go to the hype. I mean, I remember when Wilfred Zaha went to Man United from Palace and it just never worked.
No, he was young as well, though, wasn't he? I mean, I think when you sign young players, it's not really perceived as like that. But when you sign a player like that, he's not young, is he? Is he like 30 or something? He's not.
Yeah, he's not young.
Spring chicken, is he? Yeah.
No.
So, but maybe they should teach us not to judge because sometimes players like that work out for clubs, don't they? So.
Yeah. So I think there'll be a lot of happy Man United fans, especially a very happy in Ighalo, as he looks to be here until January.
Yeah, I've got a question for you then. Do you think at the end of January they might sign him permanently?
Depends how much.
Maybe. Yeah, or maybe extend his loan or something.
China. They're going to get from China, so I think it's going to be interesting to see how much. I think is it Shanghai that he plays for? I can't remember.
I believe so. Yeah.
It's depending how much if Man United want to buy him, or is Ollie going to look in a different direction come when the window starts? So it's interesting.
Yeah,
I think he's playing for his future, if nothing else.
But if he scores 10 goals, pretty good.
Absolutely, and why not? Have him, I think he'd just be one of them players that'd be happy to sit on the bench and get a chance when he gets it.
Yeah, probably.
They're the players that you like, really.
Yeah, well, you need the squad, don't you? So, yeah, watch this space
then. Staying in the Premier League, one that a bit close to your heart as well, Bob, David Luiz, I know, with Chelsea. He's been a year now, will be a year in August, being at Arsenal, and looks like Arsenal, contract talks are yet to be held, and be that no contract talks will be held for David Luiz. And I have my thoughts on David Luiz, but from an ex-Chelsea, were you surprised? Let's talk about before as he went. Were you surprised that he left, or was it one of them? If he was Chelsea's best defender, he wouldn't have been going to Arsenal?
I think Frank Lampard basically told him he was like down the pecking order and he didn't like it. David Luiz will always be a cult hero at Chelsea because of what he's done with us. Like we'll never forget the Champions League final when he played. He basically played with one leg because he was injured still. He's one of those players that if he plays for your club, you kind of love him because he's a bit crazy basically. I bet as a guy in real life, I bet you'd have such a laugh with the guy. I bet he's a brilliant bloke. I just think when it comes to football and some of the transfers he's made, I feel like he's not got much morals. And when he went to PSG, I thought he kind of and he scored against us and celebrated and stuff. I thought that was a bit thingy. And then when just the way he went to Arsenal was a bit funny. And I ain't got anything. I used to obviously be like Arsenal used to be like Arsenal. I've kind of calmed down now. I'm getting old and stuff. But I feel like you don't go to your rivals, and I actually didn't think we should have made that deal. But I don't think he's been that good for him, to be honest. He's been okay. The problem with David Luiz is you don't know what you're going to get on the day. I think you'll probably notice yourself watching him. He can be absolutely brilliant, and the guy's got a goal in him as well. You know what I mean? But he can also be the worst defender on the planet at times. I think Gary Neville once said he plays PlayStation football, and I feel like that was the best analogy of him. I'm shocked this has happened because I thought he signed a 2-year deal, but now they're saying he didn't. So it's like, so what's going on?
I find David Luiz very erratic. I really do. And I find that he does more bad things than he does good. I've never actually rated him. Even when he was at Chelsea, we always used to have discussions on David Luiz.
Yeah.
Said that he does so many silly stuff that it weighs out the good stuff that he does.
The only thing I'll say though is the 16-17 title winning season under Conte, it was absolutely phenomenal that season. But I think it's because he played in the back three and he was protected.
Yeah.
And he was in the middle. But I feel like that's the best scene he's in football.
Looking at that team and now looking at this Arsenal team, not to be negative towards Arsenal, but I think if you was to put David Luiz in a back three, he wouldn't get the protection that he got when he was...
Yeah, maybe so, yeah. Because he had like Gary Cahill and Aspilicueta at either side of him. Yeah.
Xhaka doesn't really defend very well. Torreira is probably Arsenal's best defensive midfielder, but of late he's been playing more further forward under Unai Emery. And Arteta's slow early. Yeah, but Arteta's slow at showing to get that. So I don't think it's worked at Arsenal. I really don't. I think he's gone into a back four, and with his partners either being Socrates or it's been Mustafi, and the three of them together.
Well,
is a match made in hell, really, for me.
I think Arsenal fans would have happily got rid of Mustafi, wouldn't they, in summer if it had been up to them. So
I just sort of think he was. I thought he was a bit of a panic buy. I really do. Even though I just thought they got him because he was there, and I think they were looking at other players.
They didn't pay much for it. Did they pay anything for him actually, or was he wasn't on a free? Was he?
I think only about £7 or £8 million.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like it was a bit of a risk worth taking, to be honest, for that little price, because he was an established Premier League defender. They were desperate for a defender. I do feel like from their point of view, I mean, I remember some Arsenal fans were kind of a bit giddy, weren't they, after the summer they had? A little bit. They kind of thought they'd had a great, but it didn't really pan out. But I don't know. I'll always kind of like him, but also there's always going to be that little thing about him where I feel like he kind of ruined his status a bit at Chelsea twice by being
he was a very, very popular player at Chelsea. I mean, before he left, he was the guy in the picture in the club shops, David Luiz.
Yeah, so he was
personality.
I tell you who else he played well under. Rafa Benitez played really well under him. I feel like he's one of those players, if he played for a team like, let's say Newcastle, but even though they're probably not now because they're going to bring a lot of good players in, but if he'd have been playing for someone like Newcastle and made those mistakes, he probably wouldn't have really noticed as much. I think because he's been at Chelsea, PSG, Arsenal, all big clubs, and we saw him in Brazil when he got humiliated, which was I felt a bit sorry for him actually, to be honest, at the time. I just think he's one of those players. He's going to always be remembered because he's such a character. It's almost like if he's made a characters 11, it'd be him and Jimmy Bullard in in the same team. I don't know. Good luck to him. If he goes back to Benfica, good luck to him, and I think he'll probably do fine over there. But he's at the tail end of his career, and he's not even coming to it. He's at it. So Arsenal, for me though, now what do they do because they're a centre back short? Have they still got Callum Chambers?
Yeah, but he's injured a lot. And they've still got Rob Holding.
Yeah.
Now, Rob Holding was that season when he came in, the season of the FA Cup final with you guys. Rob Holding was very good that season for Arsenal. Got injured and not really looked the same.
Doesn't come back, yeah.
Because Arsenal seem to have players that are playing so well, get injured, and then that's it. Then it's like they hit for like the season out all the time. Very, very unlucky with that. I think one thing David Luiz has to do, he's got to stop taking free kicks. I think I've seen.
He used to be good. He used to be good at him years ago.
When he goes on the ball now, I think, here we go. He's either going to hit the ball or he's going to put it into clock end.
It's a little bit like when Roberto Carlos used to hit great ones, and then back end of his career, he started still trying to do it, and he couldn't do it anymore.
Any Arsenal fans out there, let us know what you think. Are we happy to see David Luiz leave? Do Arsenal want to get the likes of Upamecano? I know a lot of Arsenal fans are interested in him. But he will cost a lot of money. I was
just going to say, actually, just before we move on from David Luiz, on the internet, I've not seen any Arsenal fans even bothered. I've been reading like the posts on Sky Sports and stuff, and they're not bothered.
What does that tell you?
Well, it's past it, isn't it?
That's what that tells you. Again, staying in the Premier League, I don't know if you've seen reports today that young Liverpool lad Harvey Elliott supposedly rejected Real Madrid in a move to come to Liverpool, or he's rejecting them now. It's one of the two, and the reasons is, if you believe this, is he said to Real Madrid, "No, it's okay." Said, "Would you like to meet Ramos and get into the?" He goes, "No, it's okay, thanks. I don't like Sergio Ramos after what he did to Mo Salah. That's why I'm stopping at Liverpool." Now, whether that is true or not is nothing. But my take, being a Liverpool fan, is this boy is in the news way too much. He's in the news way too much. A silly
I've never
thing.
heard of him. So it's news to me.
I think he took the mick out of Harry Kane regarding something to do with Harry Kane.
Oh, now you mention it.
And he seems to be always in the news for doing something wrong.
Bit of a troublesome, would you say? Yeah. You don't want players like that, do you?
Someone needs to grab hold of him and say,
shut his mouth. Yeah.
You're at Liverpool now, behave yourself.
Yeah.
And I think Klopp needs to have a word, or somebody needs to have a word. Or Teresa, in the Liverpool team now, I'd be looking, if he was back in the day, when you got your Gerrard and your Carragher's there, he wouldn't be making silly comments like this because he'd be told.
Well, they'd have pulled him to one side, wouldn't they?
Yeah. So, but I don't know if anyone in the Liverpool team now will grab hold and say, "Look, you don't do this here."
I guess really it's the coach's job, isn't it, to say something, but maybe he's so concentrating on the field matters, maybe it's not come to light to him. I mean, it's one of them for me. I mean, I was ready to say I doubt he said this, but when you just told me what he said, I thought maybe he did. But at the same time, is that not just kind of committing career suicide in some ways? Because a move to Real Madrid don't come often. It's very strange.
He's very, very highly rated.
Yeah. But look at players like, who was that lad who went from Man United to West Ham? That midfielder. Forgot his name. Ravel Morrison. Look at him, and you've got to be able to behave. And if you can't behave, look what all the talent in the world, and it just goes to pot, doesn't it?
Well, if you look what Rooney said about Ravel Morrison a couple of weeks ago, he said Ravel Morrison,
yeah,
right? But we'll come on to Pop because I've got a piece about him in here. But Ravel Morrison was another lad who had all the potential in the world. This is the thing with these young players. When people tell us why they're promoting youth, and half the time the reason is because these youth players look like they're going to be superstars, and then they just go and fade.
I can name you like 10 from Chelsea. Gail Kakuta, remember him? Happened to him. Josh McEachran. There was that midfielder, Michael Woods. I don't know. He was going to be the next big thing. And it's not. A lot of Chelsea young players have made it. Just they've gone on to other clubs and made it. But there's some I remember that were raved about, like, oh, there's going to be the next big thing, and then it's like you never hear from them again. I mean, it happens not just at Chelsea. It happens at all sorts of clubs. Like you say, Ravel Morrison's probably one of the best examples of that. It's just
He's never kicked on, has he? But
Yeah.
he's literally gone somewhere else and kicked on. I think he's at Sheffield United now.
Ravel Morrison.
Is he at Sheffield United now?
It might be. I'm not sure. I ain't kept up with his career.
I might be completely wrong, but I'm sure he's.
But players like that kind of are really frustrating because it's like they just had their head screwed on.
Here's one for you. Jack Rodwell.
Well, injuries for him on it as well.
Was one of Everton's bright boys.
And who was was it Gosling as well?
Gosling, yeah, he was another bright boy.
What happened to him? Went to Newcastle, didn't he? And then I think these were injuries. Yeah, it is. It's really bizarre. But these players, you hear about them all the time. Michael Mancian, remember it? And I'm not saying all these are trouble causes, by the way. They're just players who potentially disappeared. That Elliot, he needs to sort his head out because if he doesn't, that'll probably be his downfall.
It's a show in itself, that, Bob. Really. It's another
yeah,
show.
It is, yeah.
It's a bit strange, Harvey. My thing to him is get your head down and play your football, and then once you are good enough and you have done what you need to do, come out and say these sort of things.
Well, maybe not even then. Use your brain a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I mean. But you've got to be cute with it if you're going to come out and say with it, but not. But truth is, has he really said that? I don't know. There is a lot of talk on it, but knowing him, as I've seen so much of him in these newspapers, he probably has.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think. I was ready to go no, and then as soon as you said, I thought, oh yeah, probably did then.
I'm not one for Sergio Ramos, but even then, you've got to be careful what you're going to say. You really have to be careful what you're going to say. RB Leipzig have turned around and says Timo Werner will only leave for £52 million. So he's been heavily linked with a move to Liverpool. Liverpool seem to be the team that he wants to go to. From a Liverpool thing, is he as good as what we already have? Don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money. Really, at the current climate now.
Well, I was going to say, it's gone from being not that much to being a lot again, hasn't it? I mean, it was a lot anyway, but, the fees were like... How much did he pay for a Van Dijk, for example? Wasn't that quite a lot?
60 or 70 million.
See what I mean? No, you're going up at it and you're coming down now. It's like I know Chelsea have been linked with a couple of Championship players, and I was a bit surprised. Not that Championship's a bad level, I'm not saying that. Players have come from Championship and been phenomenal. But you almost don't want to be linked with other players but then I think the way the world is going, the fees are going to come down. Although some clubs are going to demand more because they don't want to let players go as well. So I don't know. The only way I'm surprised that do Liverpool bring him in this season? Let's just say you get him. Do they bring him in and then he plays the season with all the front threeers now and he kind of integrates into that? Then next year you sell one of those players and keep Werner takes that person's place? Or is Werner coming in and you're expecting one of them to leave?
I think, honestly, if they were going to get Timo Werner in, it was depending on what they're going... For me, you're not going to get rid of Salah. You might get rid of Salah, but you've got Mane. You don't get rid of Sadio Mane.
No.
It's suicide for me.
Let's say Salah goes, though.
You've got Firmino, who, he doesn't score many goals, but he is the man that knits that front three together for me.
That's what Benzema used to do at Real Madrid for Bale and Ronaldo. It's the same sort of thing. Yeah.
Do you drop Firmino back into midfield? So you have three midfield. Say, for instance, you have Henderson and Wijnaldum sitting, and you have Firmino at the top of the diamond of that three. And then you have your Mane, Salah and Firmino, and Mane, Salah and Werner with Firmino playing just behind. So they could play that. It could keep Firmino in around the area where he normally plays anyway, and you can just make things happen for the front three. So they could do that. But like you said, that won't happen. One of them will go. Now,
but I don't think Salah's going. I think we've agreed. I think if one goes, I think actually probably will be Salah eventually.
I do.
But
I do.
and to be honest with you, it sounds daft. That's the one I'd sell with the 3 because I feel like you need Firmino for the system to work. Like you say, you're not going to sell Mane because his work rate and everything's phenomenal. And Salah, brilliant player, but he almost is replaceable in some ways. That sounds daft to say, but you could get a lot of money for Salah. Do you know what I mean? And then if you got say Werner in,
get over 100 million, you'd think, wouldn't you, for Salah?
I think if you get Werner though, I don't think anyone's going this summer. I think you're going to keep what you've got, and Werner's going to join them, and I think one will go the year after.
I think if we want to keep on a trail of challenging for league titles, we can't be seen to be getting rid of anybody, really. I think we still need
but
to...
you can't stand still either, because we've done that.
No.
We've always failed
I think we need at least a creative player. That's something Liverpool have missed all season. Yeah, we might be 25 points clear, but we're still missing someone who can just unlock a door. Because if Firmino's not doing it up front, Henderson's not one for creating much magic, and neither Ronaldo.
Who is your 3 in midfield at the minute? Or would you not play 3?
Henderson, Wijnaldum, and sometimes it can be Keita, Ox.
All right. See, Oxlade-Chamberlain, he spent a lot of time injured. Surely he's not going to get dropped now.
Ox has been great.
Yeah, now, I think he's been a really good player for you.
Oxlade-Chamberlain, but Oxlade-Chamberlain has been very good since coming to Liverpool. What has he actually done? Right. 1, he's won a Champions League. 2, he's on the verge of winning the Premier League. And 3, he's actually his overall work rate and the play is actually really good.
I think people look at stats too much, like goals and assists and stuff, but you've got to look at the system. It's like, do you remember that player called Emerson who Capello always used to sign? And he went to Real Madrid. He was one of those players who didn't do a lot, but what he did was integral to that system. And players like that, Diamond doesn't. I think Chamberlain's one of those players. So if they took your stance and did what they did with the front 3 and had, Firmino drop back, you're almost losing something then, aren't you? So I don't know if that would be a good... I mean, obviously, you got so many games in a season, people are going to come in and out anyway, substitutes and stuff, but I guess it's one to watch. I mean, do you think... I mean, Werner's probably going to be the one that drags on, because he's always one that drags on. I can see this one dragging on. Maybe even till deadline day, which would be great for Sky Sports. I don't know. I think if he goes, it looks like Liverpool's the only club he's going to.
Yeah, I think he will. I think Liverpool, like you say, I think one of them that'll go on and on and on and on, and then we'll just have to see what happens. But you got like some Naby Keita who we bought for over £50 million. Just at the moment has not worked out. But I think next season's massive for Liverpool next season. It's massive for a lot of people in there. Because Lallana's not going to be here at the end of the season. He'll be gone.
No.
Wijnaldum is still not got contract talks set up yet. He's only got about a year left.
Oh, really?
So
need to get that sorted. He's a good player, him.
They need to get that sorted.
Yeah.
And Fabinho. So you got Fabinho, sorry, Bob. Yeah, so Fabinho. It's
yes, that's the other one.
Fabinho, Henderson, and Wijnaldum sometimes. So Ox sometimes is on the bench, but Fabinho's massive to that midfield, massive. But we'll see. We'll see how Liverpool want to play it out. But if they are going to play the system what I said, then someone's going to be unhappy in that midfield.
Yeah, I think Lallana would be a really good signing for some clubs, as well. He's one of those players. That might be one of the players that Newcastle look at, because obviously Newcastle got his money coming in. It's almost like when City signed Gareth Barry. It was a really good signing. I mean, Gareth Barry wasn't at the end of his career, and I'm not suggesting that, but he was like, you've almost got to make those signings that aren't quite at that level. You've got to go this level, and then you can't just go and just sign loads of players, because you're not gonna. You can get 1 or 2 like that. You're not gonna get 10, are you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Newcastle fans like a player that will come in, work hard, and do the stuff. Lallana does all that. He works hard, put on the ball, he'll create. And do you know what? That won't be a bad idea, that, for Newcastle.
No, I think it'd be a really good idea. If it happens, I want the credit for suggesting
that's it. Put it forward to you. Next thing on transfers, again, these are just rumours. Juventus are willing to offer Adrian Rabiot in a swap deal with Paul Pogba. Now, I don't know if that's a swap deal with Rabiot and money for Pogba. I can't imagine it's just going to be a straight swap.
No.
Now, he is a real head turner, Paul Pogba. You don't know whether to turn away from him and think, oh my God, what is he doing? Or you turn and think, oh my God, look what he's just done. A bit like David Luiz to me, Pogba. You don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, mate, yeah.
So the whistle goes and it starts for me. I think he's another player, and I'm sorry, he was very, very highly overrated. That isn't as good as people think. I don't think he's fantastic.
I don't quite agree with you.
Tries way too much, and 99%, about 80% of the time, it doesn't work. I don't really think he's. I think if Man United is better without. I think if Man United could buy 2 or 3 players to replace him, then I think that's better than keeping Paul Pogba. But that's just for me.
I agree with that, but I'll come back to that. I think Paul Pogba is a superstar player. If Paul Pogba was playing for Barcelona or Real Madrid, he would be absolutely phenomenal. I think because he plays for this Man United team they've got now, I don't think he quite suits. He doesn't fit. It doesn't suit the system. He needs a big manager to manage him, I think, as well. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is up to it in some respects. Like you said about Paul Pogba, look at that game against Man City where he was absolutely phenomenal. Brilliant. And then you watch another game and he's a pile of trash. But at the same time, look who he's playing with. You could be that good. You might not be. Do you know what I mean? As good as you can be, if your team isn't very good, how are you supposed to be seen as this world superstar? I mean, he's always going to go for a lot of money because he's a brand anyway, the player. You don't just buy Paul Pogba, you buy the brand Paul Pogba and you get all the merchandising out of it. So he's always going to go for a high fee. But for me, I think going back to Manchester United was the big mistake. I think he should have moved across to Real Madrid or Barcelona, or maybe even just stayed at Juventus. Can you imagine him playing with Ronaldo now? I feel like he'd be a lot better in that midfield.
My thing is with Pogba is sometimes I don't think he plays with the team. I think sometimes when he loses the ball, it's because he's trying to do everything himself. And I think he might be a very, very good player, but you're a good player. You're a great player if the things you're doing yourself works out. So if you're going to try and beat 3 or 4 people, you better make sure you beat 3 or 4 people, because if you've got a pass there and a pass there and a long pass over there, and you're not choosing that, you're going to lose the ball. You're costing yourself 15 goals. As good as you are, I just think he does it too. I think that's what he's done.
But does he not trust his other players? Whereas if he was playing with Busquets, Busquets next to him, or Toni Kroos or somewhere, Modric, he'd probably be thinking, I trust it. Do you know what I mean? So it's almost like, is he trying too? I've always kind of had a bit of a thing. Maybe he's a little bit lazy. Maybe he's actually trying too hard. Maybe that's the problem. You're right about him though. He's such a phenomenon because you get one week, you watch him and you think, bloody hell, and you watch him next week, you're like, what the hell is that?
I just think a lot of Man United goals where he's been playing and he's lost the ball. I'd like to know the stat of how many times Paul Pogba has lost the ball and it's led to Man United. And I think it will be quite a lot.
What is their win? Do you know what their win ratio is without him? They've been playing quite well this season, haven't they, really? And he's not been playing, has he?
No. He's hardly played.
So you think about it from that perspective.
Was he September or something?
He got injured, didn't
he? He played.
Well, injured. Is he injured? It's one of them, isn't it? I mean, he's going to go. 100% he will go at some point. If not this season, next season he's gone. But it's one of them where I don't feel like Man United want to let go of him because of what he brings to the club financially, if that makes sense. He's almost like a club.
You said about the brand.
Yeah. And
what? Yeah. Because he's everywhere, isn't he?
That's part of football now. You've got to take it with the player, the brand. And if you're bringing in him and he brings in Nike or Adidas, whoever he sponsors him as well, you're just laughing at it at bank.
He's massive.
Yeah, he is.
Massive. Now, I think Paul Pogba will never be put in the same breath as being amazingly world class. Now, for me, I think world class is a word that is used a lot for a lot of players.
I think it's overused these days. Yeah.
Yeah. You've got good, very good, and then I think you've got your world class is your Ronaldos and your Messis.
But they raise the bar so high now. It's like it's too high, isn't it?
You look at them, right? Messi can do it on his own, but he works for the team, right? If there's a pass on that's going to suit the team, which will get a goal, Messi will probably pass it.
Yeah, he's a team player, isn't he? Yeah.
I think later life Ronaldo now would pass it. I think back when he was
maybe so. Yeah.
In his early Real Madrid days, he would think, I can do it on my own. So they're changing. We did a program on transfer sagas about Sanchez, saying the back end of his arse career, he was trying to do things himself because he didn't trust a lot of the people around.
That's what I'm saying.
Is Pogba in that same bracket? But Sanchez was very good at Arsenal. I don't think Pogba has lived up to the hype since he's never in a season for me where I think he was brilliant for Man United that season, and I've just not seen it.
Doesn't he play a lot better for France when he's playing with Kante?
Yeah, because he could, like you say, he could go on and do what he wanted to do because he knew the best defensive midfielder in the world. In my opinion, no one's better than Kante. He's going to sit there and he'll do what I don't do, and I'll go.
And he trusts him, doesn't he? Yeah.
I'll go do he'll do what I can't do. I'll go do what you can't do, and that is how it works for France because France have such a good team.
Well,
now Pogba's got Scott McTominay, who's a young Scottish international, who will get better as he goes on, and he's got Fred again. Fred is getting better. He's got better as the season's gone on because the signing.
He has actually. He played quite well. He's playing quite well for him, isn't he?
Signed from Shakhtar.
Yeah.
And I thought, Fred from Shakhtar. What does he do? What have they bought him for? Because I didn't understand what he did. But now, as you go in, his confidence is getting up now.
Yeah.
Of why they bought him. So I understand if Pogba again is trying to do everything himself, but you're only world class when you can play with your team, and he's not doing that.
I mean, we might be able to just do a whole episode on Paul Pogba. It sounds a bit, but
he could do. He could do because
on the deal,
he divides opinion. Opinion.
On the deal, well, great. Don't tell Graham Souness.
If you got Graham Souness on, there's no point in it. You just don't go for
on the deal. I actually think there could be something to it because I feel like swap deals are going to become a big thing over the next summer with the money situation for everyone. So I could see it. I could see them offering it. I'm not saying Man United will take the offer. It's one of those. So, yeah.
Should be an interesting one. So, like I said, give us a comment. Do you think Paul Pogba should still be at Man United? Do you think they should sell him on and go and buy other players?
I'll do a poll. I'll do a poll on page as well for that, yeah.
Yeah. Put a poll up. Paul Pogba to stay or go. And would Man United fans be happy with him going? And I don't know. Like I said, he divides opinion, and I think he divides a lot of Man United fans. I'd like to get your brother's take on Paul Pogba, Bob.
Yeah, we'll have to get him on. Yeah.
Ask him about that. And then last of the transfers is Mario Götze is going to be leaving Dortmund at the end of the season. I'm surprised he's not going back to Bayern because he seems to go Bayern, Dortmund, and then Dortmund. Whether Bayern will get him again, I don't believe. At 27 years old, Bob, is that still a steal for anybody that wants to get Mario Götze?
I'd take a punt on him. Again, I'm going to bring up Newcastle here because of the money situation. But players like that aren't very often. I mean, sure, he's a bit of a risk because he's had some injury problems and he didn't set the world light at Bayern, did he? Like he did at Dortmund. But I think what a risk. Free signing. He's probably going to have a higher wage, but you're not paying transfer fee. So I think he might come to the Premier League. I really do. And I'm saying Newcastle, but there could be other teams. Might want to. Marino likes his veteran players. He might look at Spurs and think, right, we could probably use
I'm looking from a Liverpool perspective because he was a Jurgen Klopp player as well.
Well, there's always that, yeah.
I'm talking about getting somebody who's creative
Yeah.
and very, very creative.
I just think for your team, I don't think...
He might not fit the module of our team now.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah. I mean, a transfer you've actually forgot that I've actually seen today. You're not forgotten, but you haven't been. There's been talk of Coutinho coming to Chelsea on loan. Because apparently...
I haven't got it wrote down.
Again, it's rumours. It's not...
I was going to chuck in that I have read today that Barcelona are willing to get for someone to pay £9 million and take him on loan.
That's £9 million.
Arsenal,
is that for a season?
Yeah, £9 million and
for
on
one
loan.
season.
I think so. Yeah. Now I've read that a lot about. He's been very, very heavily linked with Arsenal. Very heavily linked with Chelsea.
I think he's been a lot more linked with us than anyone.
Yeah, well, I'm saying he was very heavily linked.
Yeah.
With that. Arsenal have slowly but coming back. Like I said, everyone's getting linked with everybody at the moment. Now, Bob, okay. Well, let's go on to let's just finish the goats and we'll go on to Coutinho.
Oh yeah, sorry, I thought you did.
So,
yeah.
Bob, would you take Mario Götze at Chelsea?
I don't.
The Frank Lampard way of playing football now with the younger generation.
No, I don't think he suits us. If we bought him, I'd probably be quite happy to see what he did, but I don't think he suits our system. We'll talk about Coutinho because I've got some comments on that as well, but I don't think Götze fits don't fit us. I feel like he'd fit better at some other clubs. Like I said, I don't think he fits you because of what your system is.
Yeah.
I think he might fit in at, say, someone like Spurs. You've got to include Newcastle in every conversation now because of the money they've got coming in.
Yeah.
You know, but for all we know, he might end up going to Spain or Italy.
Adam Lallana and Mario Götze forward to your club at this.
I bet Newcastle would take both of them.
I've heard Bob's on the board at Newcastle.
Why, man?
all different players to the club. So yeah, Mario Götze. Again, give us a comment. Mario Götze, where do you think he should go? Are Dortmund silly for getting rid of him? Like I said, it's a
surprise given the situation.
Keeping with Dortmund, actually, Jadon Sancho has been heavily linked with a move to. Now, would you be one of Dortmund defensive in Paul Pogba and we'll stop you Jadon Sancho? But I know that they're playing the same position. But
I don't think Pogba will go to Dortmund.
Get rid of him.
I think if he goes, he's going Juventus. He's going to go back to Juventus, or he's going to go to one of the elite clubs in Spain, in my opinion. I do not see him going to Dortmund.
To be honest with you, I think Pogba would probably be better at Real Madrid because.
Oh, I do too, yeah.
Getting quite aged in Real Madrid's team. I don't think
Modric ain't no spring chicken anymore, so.
Those are all getting on a bit now, so maybe he's getting quite well there. So yeah, where would Mario Götze go? Would you take him to your club? Or as Bob keeps saying, you'll probably end up at Newcastle. Coutinho, Bob. What do you think?
Yes. I would love him at Chelsea because I think he's class. I'm surprised Liverpool aren't going back in for him because I feel like he's exactly what you need.
I've got a thought on that as well, but go on. We'll go with you with Chelsea.
If you asked me to put a bet on it now, I'd put money on him coming to Chelsea.
Right.
I don't know anything, guys. I'm not an insider. I don't know. Or maybe Newcastle.
Oh, God.
But his price is a bit, you say 9 million for it, that's a lot of money. But again, if he comes into our club now, what does that do for our midfield? Because, we need improvements because I feel like centre-back's a big one for us, but you can't turn down a player like Coutinho. You can. Liverpool can because they're at the top. We're not at the top anymore. We couldn't turn down Coutinho if he came available, but I don't know what's happening with the money situation because the thing is we haven't spent the Hazard money, so that kind of opens up. We have got a bit of money, but then I'm like, well, the club's probably lost some money over this COVID period as well. So does that money now get absorbed back into the club, or do we still have that Hazard money that we got? So if I were a betting man, I think he's coming to Chelsea, but
It could
anything
be a
can
bit.
change.
It could be a bit of a hazard for Mason Mount and everybody else if Coutinho was to come now. My question to you is, Bob, if Chelsea wouldn't have been on a transfer ban, would you have seen these youngsters given a chance under Lampard, or do you think they would have signed players?
One or two maybe, but we'd have bought a striker, so I don't think Abraham would have got to play as much. And I think Abraham's been really good for us, to be honest. I can't fault him. It's funny because Mount's really integral to the way we play. When Mount doesn't play, we don't look as good.
Is Mount play a sort of left midfield? He's quite. When I see Matt, he always seems to be hanging out on the wing sometimes. Mount.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird system. He sort of does play like left.
Mm.
It's a weird system. I mean, obviously, your midfield, you've got like Jorginho, who I think he'll probably go in summer. You've got Jorginho, Kovacic, and Kante.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I can't really tell you where they all sit. It's all a bit weird. But if Coutinho comes in, I think Coutinho probably would take Mount's place, wouldn't he? Because what? Then again, look who's going in the summer. Look, Williams going, isn't he? On a free.
Mm.
So could Coutinho? I mean, Coutinho can play like pretty much anywhere, can't he? On that.
There's a hell of a free team coming here.
So.
A hell of a free.
Well, just to go on a bit of a tangent about Willian. I know we're like pressed for time, but he keeps saying he wants a 3-year and he's getting offered a 2-year now. Chelsea don't offer 2-year contracts to over 30s, so he's kind of in a privileged state anyway, getting offered that. Which I think the over 30s thing's a bit weird, to be honest. I will say that, just 1-year contracts, but I feel like he's using it as an excuse because I think he wants to go. Now he's getting linked with a lot of English clubs, but I think Barcelona have been after him for years. I think he'll go to Barcelona. Brilliant. But yeah, if you ask me right now, I think Coutinho's coming to Chelsea. But anything can change on a day. And like I say, I feel like the COVID situation has completely blown a lot up because money is now not the factor. It's not the same factor it was. Not everyone can go out. Even Man City might have to be careful. You know what I mean? So yeah. Anyway, you go.
Coming back to Liverpool, you said he's had his chance, and I think the grass is always greener, and he went, and I think, as I said, that's a hell of a lot of deal to the way Coutinho went to Barcelona. They didn't half-hound him for me, but he went, and I think he was always going to be one of them. It was never going to work out because they thought he was going to come in and he was going to replace Iniesta. Iniesta had been there for so long, an absolute legend at the club, and then everyone thought, Coutinho's going to go there and he's going to do this and he's going to do that. He needed time, and that's something Barcelona, with all these people that they spend so much money on, they don't give them the time, they don't work with them the season, and they don't want them. He's gone to Bayern Munich, he's gone to a team of absolute superstars there, and again, he can't even get in that team. So, okay, he's injured at the moment, right?
Yeah.
But every time I've seen Coutinho play for Bayern Munich, I've always looked class. So
look at Fabregas when he went to replace Xavi, didn't he? But Xavi was still there, so it was like he didn't get. Well, if he'd have gone like 2 or 3 years later, he probably would have got in the team. It's all about timing, isn't it?
I'd say Coutinho either going to he's going to one of 3 teams for me in the Premier League. He's either going to go to yourselves, or he's going to hop over to North London and go to Arsenal or Spurs. And I think they're the 3 teams.
You think Spurs are in as well?
Spurs were very heavily linked with him before he went to Bayern.
Suppose if it's a loan, they might be able to figure it out.
So you never know. But he has been heavily linked with Chelsea. He's been heavily linked with Arsenal. And I said at the start, before he went to Munich, he was heavily linked.
If Liverpool re-signed him, though, you wouldn't complain, would you?
I loved Coutinho at Liverpool.
Yeah.
When he was there, he was brilliant.
It was class.
He worked hard. He fit in. He went into the into the system really, really well. Then the question is, like we said, where do you play him? That's the thing now.
Yeah. But
you
find places for players like that.
You do. My thing on it is Liverpool have already turned around and said they don't want him.
Yeah, they made it very clear because I feel like I think they probably contractually got the first option as well, aren't they?
It's similar to the Fabregas situation.
Yeah.
He was offered, if Liverpool said we'll take you back, he'd go back.
Yeah.
Or same with Fabregas. Arsenal have gone, right, Fab.
Yeah.
You've gone back, but what they're going to do? Retire. You know,
Exactly, yeah.
go somewhere else. Just don't go to Man United, Coutinho.
I'm going to say, do you think Man United are in with a chance?
I don't think he'd go to Man United. And I don't
Do you
think
think Man United have got... You don't think they want him?
Unless he got rid of Pogba.
Yeah. He don't fit, does he, at Man United?
No.
That's what I was thinking. He don't fit. Yeah.
Like I said, he could go to Newcastle. So, I think Newcastle going to have this team.
When we ever do these transfer updates, we're just going to link everyone with Newcastle. We'll just put Newcastle, that's all we'll say.
So, as I said, coming away from the transfers, we're going to now just have a quick brief discussion again on the COVID-19 tests that have happened over the last week. Starting with the Premier League, there was 1,130 players tested in the fourth round of tests, and there were no positives. There were positive results. So
Premier League's coming back. We can just put a pin on that and say it's going back in it.
Like I said, that was agreed, wasn't it, by the government on Friday? Friday, was it?
Yeah, I think it was Friday. Yeah, that sounds right.
Friday to say that they're happy for the Premier to come back, and they're also happy for all contact sports to start from the 1st of June.
Yeah, it wasn't just football, were it? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it was interesting, actually. Isn't cricket coming back as well?
Yeah, so your likes of your Super League, your cricket, can now start make plans to come back. So fantastic news for other sports. Bob, that's a fantastic news for the Premier League. I've tested all these and from the fourth round of testing, and everything's come back as being clear.
Yeah, Premier League's coming back. I think we can just say that now. There's not gonna be a stumbling block now. It's coming back. That's done. It'll be back on. Is it 2 weeks' time or something? 17 days, something like that.
17.
Yeah.
Bob said it now, and then next couple of days, about 7 or 8 weeks now.
No, hopefully not. I don't want anyone to get it. I'm still a bit cautious about it coming back, but I don't want anyone to get it and stop it. The only way I want it to stop is if the saw sense and just decided to. I don't want anyone to get polio with this horrible virus. So, yep.
Yeah. So good signs for the Premier League and good signs for Liverpool. So moving on to the EFL, which is in a very bad state at the moment. 17 players or 17 people from the EFL clubs have tested positive. 8 clubs in the Championship. 7 positives.
Wow.
3 clubs in League 2 now. Leagues 1 and 2, as we know, they're not playing anywhere for the rest of the season. That season has been suspended. So I'm not going to turn around and say that doesn't matter, because it does. It's still a club and still players there that are positive for COVID-19. So that's still bad in itself, even though they're not playing.
Yeah, but it doesn't affect decisions, does it?
Yeah.
Those,
8 clubs in the Championship. I read this morning. For the life of me, I can't remember. Was it Derby County? I can't remember what the one now. Someone's coping with one of the players that's got it. It could be Birmingham. I can't remember which team it was now. But yeah, 8 clubs in the Championship. That's not good for the Championship. That's 8 clubs.
That's a big amount of clubs. I know Josh doesn't think he thinks he's not coming back, doesn't he now?
Yeah, from what we were saying in the message of the night, yeah.
I think they'll push another round of tests in a couple of weeks, and they'll want to. I think they'll want to come back. I don't think it's like Leagues 1. I think it was easier to shut down Leagues 1 and 2, which sounds awful, and I'm not disparaging those leagues, than it was for them to shut down the Championship. Now, we were saying, we were expecting the Championship to like follow the Premier League, so be like a week after, or maybe even get within the same time frame. Now this delays things further for them. They've got to make a big decisions, not just decision.
We said in our Project Restart podcast last week, when it was just ourselves, we spoke about with the Premier League restarting again. We said about the Championship, when would that return? Because then there was no talk of it returning. Again, there's still no talk of it returning. It's more talk now of actually how many teams are being tested positive for the coronavirus. So we're not even at a stage where we can actually talk about the season actually coming back, because we are nowhere near it yet.
And they can't keep pushing it. They're gonna have to make a decision now. Are they going to do the promotion and relegation thing? I mean, Premier League's gonna have relegation now, aren't they? 'Cause it's carrying on. So do you promote? But what three do you promote the team in third? Because top two, you can make a case for top two because the top two. Do you promote third? Because it was obviously everyone was playing for a playoff system.
Am I right in thinking that League 1 and 2 relegation does not happen in them leagues? Am I right? Am I right in saying?
Is that the case?
That's what I'm thinking. Am I right in saying that that's not because
I can't tell you. I'll have to look.
Were you saying with like the Premier League coming back now and relegation's happening, so the relegation teams will go down, and then the three teams that they're thinking about promoting up, and then ones at the bottom, are they getting relegated? I don't know. I can't remember now if Leeds want to have done that relegation scheme, or they're just complete. I think they've just completely knocked it on the head, haven't they? Because I don't think there's even no winners of the leagues, have there? I think they just completely knocked it on the head.
So if that's the case, the Championship would have no relegation, but it would have promotion.
Yeah. You get the relegation teams down to make up the three teams that have been promoted, and then do it like that. So it's really how that might.
But could that affect the Premier League? And the Premier League just go right, no relegation this season then?
But then my thing then is what are you playing for then? You play to get the title.
Good point.
Yeah.
Well, this is what the problem is.
The bottom.
This whole decision is based on finance. It's based on let's get football back on TV so we can get the finances in. And I don't care what they say. It is kind of immoral in some ways. I know there's a lot of people who agree with me who are in your position supporting the team that's going to win the league think the same thing. Like it's a bit immoral. But I mean, there's players. Tyrone Mings came out and said it today. I think Championship will end. Now, whether they promote, no idea. They'd have to discuss it with the Premier League, wouldn't they?
So are you saying, Bob hand on heart, you think then the EFL will, especially the champ, that won't go ahead now? Or
sorry.
I think it needs another week of testing, 2 weeks of testing.
They'll do another week of testing because they're desperate to come back. If there is no improvement, or hopefully not, but more cases, it's going to have to end. There's not enough time to play it, is what you got. Because it sounds daft, right? They've got to think about next season now, because next season would be coming up very soon, wouldn't it, really? Think about it. Not like very soon, because obviously they'd have the summer, but...
It's starting in August, and it should really, technically, should be starting in August. Really. So the Euros technically should have been starting next month.
Yeah, well, they're off, though, aren't they? They're postponed to next year, but...
I'm just saying, what should have happened is the Euros should be on now. We should be getting ready now. Get him into
Are the players going to get a break, and are they going to get...
This is their break?
Yeah, I guess, actually, yeah, that's a good point. Didn't think about that way.
This is like their break now. So they're going to have, a couple of weeks now. This is sort of their pre-season with no playing games, I think. And then... I sort of think I agree with you on the moral thing, but I sort of think the people that are coming out saying, about this are the teams that are in desperate need of staying up.
Yeah, but I'm not sure that is the fact. I mean, we know Danny Rose is saying it because I want to sound awful. Danny Rose does not like football. And, God bless him, he's had depression and stuff, and, I've not been through it. I don't understand it, but... I get it from that point of view because he's right. Football isn't really important. But at the same time, I think people do want to just get back to normal. And I do think football will help mentally with that with people. Yeah. So I see it from that point of view. But it is a decision all based on finance. I don't think we can argue that.
But also, they have given no one who's saying that players have to come back either. So it's not like the players are forced to be coming back. There are players
but then
come back.
But then that goes to what I was saying about the fairness of competition. If players are not willing to come back for club, let's just say you had Ronaldo, right? We haven't said that. Let's say Mo Salah don't want to come back. That's a big player to lose. I mean, you've got a good team still, so you'll probably be all right. But imagine if it was last season, how close you and City were. Mo Salah goes, I'm not coming back. That's a big blow to your title challenge. And let's say Jack Grealish don't come back for Aston, because Jack Grealish is Aston Villa's best player by a country mile. Jack Grealish don't come back. Aston Villa has chances of staying up. Just suddenly go. You get what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, that's when the thing of finance is what you were saying comes into, because the Premier League are looking at
Do you think the Championship's gonna get called off?
How much money are we going to owe out to broadcasting companies because we've not been able to fulfil our contract of saying this is what we're going to have? So you can look at it in both ways, and every way you look at it is correct. The players standpoint, if they don't want to come back, they're in their rights. Teams are in their rights to get back. The Premier League's in their rights if they want to get it going again. But then people right say that they probably shouldn't start again. So everyone has got a very good case for doing what they want. It's just, it's whatever.
Yeah. Do you think Championship's coming back then, or do you think not?
I think that it's in a very, very bad position, and the position because I say this because even before, when the Premier League started with their tests, there was always that thing of we're starting again in June. We're starting again in June.
Yeah.
Weeks and weeks now saying it's going to start in June. I've not heard one thing about the Championship saying it's going to start anytime.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Never heard it. No. And now, the more you go into it now, 17 people from EFL clubs, 8 clubs, and that's 8 clubs in the Championship. 8 clubs.
That is a lot. That is
be 12, be 13.
Yeah.
When do you look at it? When do the EFL look and say, right, okay, if it goes to 12 clubs, how many's in the Championship? 24?
Yeah, I think it's 24, yeah. That'd be half the league. It's nearly half the league anyway, really. It's 8.
I mean,
it's more than a quarter, isn't it?
All time. If they start again, people keep. We talk about Kante not coming back. But say for instance, if the EFL starts getting Leeds players, get 2 or 3 big Leeds players gets tested positive, that's 3 massive players to their chance.
Yeah.
And the rest is really. So they need to get at least another week, because 2 weeks is pushing it then, because the Premier League it's knocking on the door of coming back now.
The thing that's on their side is because the government has said sports can come back, so they could maybe say, right, we'll keep testing for the next 3 weeks, and if we have no positives by the end of week 3, we can come back. So they do have that kind of leeway, where the Premier League didn't, because they didn't have the decision then, where the decision's out there now. So
do you think that the Premier League have rushed that decision for the 17th of June? To the Premier League, to the EFL, I would think if they can't get it within the next week or so, then I don't think it'll happen, because I don't think they have.
No, I agree with you. Yeah.
As you're saying, if they say we're going to do another 3 weeks of testing, that's 3 weeks lost.
Yeah, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just it's then 3 weeks closer to the next season starting, and you've not finished yet.
No.
A week minimum, I'd say. It has to go down. If it goes to 4 clubs, then I can say it's gone down a little bit, but it's still not where we want it to be. The Premier League at the first weeks had 2 or 3 teams, didn't they? That said that the first round of testing was like 2 or 3 teams had it. So they've got. I don't know how many tests they've done. I don't know how many.
I don't either, but no testing. Positives means it's coming back.
So interesting.
Yeah. I'll just bring up, before we go, FA Cup quarterfinals have been rescheduled for the weekend of 27th, 28th of June. The final's going to be on the 1st of August. So FA Cup's coming back, so they're determined to finish that competition. So just a little quick. We haven't really got what to say on it, have we? Just an update that it's going back. So
good for the actual competition itself. Is it another 3 or 4 games that we don't need?
Possibly, but I assume if something happened in the Premier League, they'd just call it off. But because the Premier League's going back, they've got that. Because it's all Premier League teams that are in it as well.
That is fantastic for people that are in it. Yourself, Bob, that thing of the FA Cup, they can just give us the FA Cup as a nice gesture. Has gone out of the way.
But we won't win it, don't worry.
That's coming back now. So surely UEFA now going to look at Champions League. So
that'll be next. Yeah.
When does that get fitted in? I tell you, I don't know what we're all going to do soon, because there's going to be games on every single day.
We're going to get fed up
for the rest of it.
Yeah. Well, time to play FIFA.
Bob, is that it from you, sir?
Yeah, I've got nothing else. I just wanted to quickly mention FA Cup because it was just a bit of news. But no, nothing from me.
Yep. So just to sort of recap before we go. So as we said, you've heard the transfer news. So let's see what happens in the current state and who's going to be going where. As we said, 17 people from 8 clubs in the Championship have been tested positive for COVID-19. Bad news for the Championship. Bad news for West Brom and Leeds United in the sense of what's going to happen with them. So yeah, as ever, you can tweet us at PL Seasons, and you can also email us at Premier League Seasons to Remember at gmail.com. Thanks for your time, Bob. And again, we will all see you all next week, and most probably in our next show, there'll be more people linked to Newcastle. From all of us. See you later. Goodbye.
Goodbye.